Hi, I'm Shannon McGee, strategic business coach and franchise owner with Network in Action here in Nashville metropolitan area as well as nationwide. And today I have Luke Betchner with Health Markets. He's an insurance and Medicare broker. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today, Luke.
Thank you, Shannon. Great to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. You have a great story that I think will interest folks.
Yeah, it's interesting. For sure. It's far and wide, It started, gosh, back out right out of high school. That I didn't go quite the traditional route. I was in the music industry and had a good stint there and had to figure out the business side of that, right? Even though music was the product. I had to figure out a way to make money, right, doing it because that was it, right? So that taught me a lot of you don't realize it, but at that point you do become your own business owner and entrepreneur, and so that started
Exactly.
everything. Um, and then there was a big pivot a few years later, and this goes back to when I was a kid and my dad, but I've always raced cars and I've been around motorsports my whole life. And so I decided to pursue that kind of hard. I got a few opportunities. And over the next course of probably 6 to 8 years, I became a professional paid race car driver. Ran a professional GT4 team. Ended up going to instruct for Porsche, Ferrari, their driving programs in North America. And that, again, that leads into a whole long conversation. But at the end of the day, I was the driving force in that, and that was the business, right? Is you had to figure out how to make yourself get paid to do a profession like that. And there's so much there's so many different things that you have to do that fall in that entrepreneur
Mhm.
box, right? When you are doing something like that. And again, it falls the driving, racing was just a product, right? It was everything behind it of building the clientele, keeping that business going, right? To produce revenue. And so that was a big thing for me that taught me a whole nother subset of skills, right? And I took everything there because I was teaching people how to race cars, right? I mean, people would come to me and they would go, Luke, hey, I just bought this, brand new Porsche race car, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to drive it, right? So I taught them, right? Taught them how to drive it, fly all over the country to do this. And long story short, I got burnt out on travel and just the constant hustle and all that. And I said, what else can I do? And so, 4.5 years later is where I'm at now in the insurance business. I've started a brokerage inside of an agency called HealthMarkets, and I write health plans, health insurance plans, Medicare plans. And everything I did to help people drive race cars, I taught them, I helped them, I did whatever I could to help them succeed. I
Mhm.
took over to my insurance agency. And it's the exact same principle. Totally different product again, but literally, like there is nothing that changes as far as helping people, explaining, educating, showing them the tips and the tricks of how to work this, insurance, what to do in the insurance sphere. And so that's my journey, right? That was my journey. That's the thing. The products have changed, right? I won't lie on that, but literally the core is the exact same of just helping people, right? And having those clients that I take care of.
A lot of times folks get set in their business and they think, you don't know anything about my business. You can't possibly know. But truly, business and business principles translate, right? And what a fascinating background of music to motocross to insurance. And your drive, no pun intended, or pun intended, I should say, your drive to succeed has led to these opportunities and much success. And while you're 4 years, 4.5 years in with insurance, you're already having tremendous success. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was something that family friend, right, got me into it. And he was like, Luke, he was seeing what I was doing, right? He's like, man, you could put that same effort in here and just kind of have a different path. And like I said, I was getting kind of burnt out. And I said, you know what? All right, I'll give it a shot. And I had no idea what to expect. Um, and then all this, and in the first 12 months, right, you're drinking out of a fire hose. Anyone that's changed industries knows that. And so, I'm like, all right, let's just put my head down and go, right? Put my head down and go. And I was like, I know there's a couple people in our office now that wouldn't be sitting here if it didn't work, right? But I just did the process, did the process, did the process. And another year went by and I'm like, okay, that's working a little better. And another year went by, right? I'm like, oh, that's better. And now today, we have 3,500 agents right across the agency in HealthMarkets, and I'm top 2%. And
Awesome.
it's like you wake up one day and you're like, whoa, right? Like, how did this happen, right? And it's literally just, again, I listened to the people that were doing the grind, and it's like, hey, this is the process. Just keep going. It is a slow build, like, let me tell you. But then once you get that snowball going down the hill, you can't stop it. Um, and the difference is really like my whole thing is networking and helping people and doing what we're doing right now. And it's just like, hey, the biggest sort of success that I had, it's kind of like open up a pizza store. I just told people I was open, you know,
Yeah,
and it was just like, hey, I'm open for business. Here's what I can do. And the consultative approach that we are able to offer to people of being a
that's the key.
broker,
Yeah.
that's what really makes the difference.
That's the key. It is you have a drive to succeed, but your success comes from not only hard work, but your heart to educate and help others, right?
Hmm.
That consultative approach about doing the right thing, what's in your best interest, that's what sets you apart, right? Clearly, with your drive, and you've already shown it, you're going to succeed at what you do. But your success in insurance, in particular, has been your approach to help and teach and educate and all these things you learned in other fields. So, based on that, what's one of the like what are one of your like key recommendations or something that people don't think about when they're looking at their risk management? What are some like your just one of your recommendations that you're like, man, I'm just passionate about this and people don't think about it enough until it's too late.
Yeah, I would say the biggest hole that I see, right, when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I need insurance. This is what I got, or this is what I'm looking for." The biggest hole, or what we call exposure, right? At
Hmm.
the end of the day, it's what you're exposed to, is when a catastrophe happens. And it's not just going to the doctor and it's like, "Hey, I gotta do this checkup or this surgery or that." No, it's when you get hit with cancer, when you get hit with a heart attack, a stroke. And by the way, perfectly healthy people can have all of those things happen.
Yeah.
So it's not a
Yep.
question of, oh, I'm healthy, that's good. I see this, and the most passionate thing that I get into, right, when reviewing this is that cancer insurance, heart attack, stroke, because I want to be able to be the guy that says, hey, I put this on you. We did this for a reason. And if you go down, to be able to have that phone call that says, yeah, you have 100 grand, right, sitting here that's coming to you, and you can use it however you want to keep the
Hmm.
lights on, to keep your business going, whatever it might be. That is the number one thing that I'm
Yeah.
passionate about. And it comes from experience. Because I had a family member that I lost that had nothing of that. And I'm like, man, if I was able to do what I
Hmm.
did back then,
Yeah.
the outcome would have been different.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So that's
awesome.
that's the number one thing.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for spending time with me today. If
Yeah.
someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you, Luke?
Oh my gosh, it's pretty easy. It's just cell phone, right? Email,
Hmm.
right? Either one of those two things. I obviously we have a lot of volume and all that stuff, and so it's one of those things where I say text me, call me 480-231-1944. That's my direct line, a way to get a hold of me. And that's pretty much if
Awesome.
if you want a quick response, that's the best way.
Awesome.
So
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate taking time with me today.
yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate it.